Everblades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena and another Florida Everblades pregame show playoff edition. I'm Hannah Jo Groves alongside Jake Maurice. Jake, this is our 39th pregame show because we did 2 for the preseason and then all the ones for the regular season, and now we are in the postseason. We've been having a lot of fun, haven't we?
Absolutely. I mean, really flew by, honestly. It's hard to believe that we're already here for Game 1 of the 2026 Kelly Cup playoffs, but all around the building, everyone's excited. It got going last night with a couple of other games, but now we get going with our series against the Ghost Pirates, and I can't wait till we get to puck drop.
You can already feel the energy in the building. But before we get to tonight, I want to briefly touch on the games last week. The Reading Royals were here at Hertz Arena. The Blades were able to get 2 out of 2 wins. Who or what were the main pieces that were really contributing and able to get that win? Both of them.
Well, thing Blades have for home ice tonight.
Yes.
Home crowd certainly helped out pick up those 2 wins, especially you had the John McCarron jersey retirement ceremony in the last game of the regular season. Just a great way to start off that environment. You had good performances from Cam Johnson in back-to-back games, expecting that going into the playoffs. You had the team kind of just really polishing some last-minute things. They weren't necessarily, more so the Friday game than the Saturday, the strongest wins Florida's had all year, but they're more wins. You're rolling into the playoffs on a 4-game winning streak, 12-game point streak, so the Everblades definitely coming into the postseason as one of the hottest teams in the ECHL.
And you mentioned him, Cam Johnson, the ECHL goaltender of the year for the 2nd year in a row. Of course, we've talked about him a lot on this program, but what does this recognition do not only for his confidence, but for his teammates' confidence as they start playoffs?
Well, I mean, for Cam's always confident, right?
Yeah.
He'd be confident no matter if he had one arm and one leg, he'd still be going in confident that he could save every shot.
Yes.
But it's just more well-deserved recognition for a guy who, especially in the second half of the season, was the best goaltender in the ECHL. Huge performances, big wins all around, certainly helped out by the strong defensive structure in front of him with guys like Jordan Sandbrook doing a lot of work to help him out.
Yeah.
But Johnson, more often than not, when he needs to bail out his team, he does. Back-to-back years, he's on the All-ECHL first team. Back-to-back years, he wins the Goaltender of the Year award. First guy in over a decade to do that, win it back-to-back, and so deserved with how strong he was. Led the league in wins, led the league in minutes played, led the league in goals against average with the best goals against average in franchise history this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, once kind of you got into March and it was just like, okay, he's not stopping, he's still going. That's when we knew it was his award. Absolutely.
So the Savannah Ghost Pirates are here. Before we get into tonight, kind of give the Blades fans a recap of what happened in the regular season against them. We've had a good few games against them in the regular season.
Yeah, so the Everblades went 7-2-1 against Savannah in 10 regular season games, including 4 0-1 here on home ice. Another reason why home ice advantage so important for Florida for this first round series. But the Ghost Pirates, they can be a bit of a mercurial team. When they're coming in and they're playing at their best, they're very tough to beat. And a few times they got the better of the Everblades, and even some of those wins Florida had over Savannah this year, it certainly was not very comfortable.
Yeah.
On the other side, when they're not playing good, they really aren't playing good, and we've seen that before too.
Yeah.
But Savannah, they're coming into the playoffs not hot but not cold, 6-4 in their last 10.
Yeah.
They lost those games to Florida in March and then had a pretty good spell before losing their final game of the regular season. They've had a week off coming into this one tonight. Florida's had almost a week off, so both teams are coming into this one obviously very well rested. And both teams are rolling with what they've got. There's not going to be any help coming down from the American Hockey League for either side. So what the guys have on their roster here is what these teams are rolling with to try and compete for a Kelly Cup. Savannah's first playoff experience, Florida, not their first playoff experience.
Right.
Guys to watch in this series from the Savannah side, Nicholas Zabanet led the ECHL in shorthanded goals and points this year and led the team against the Everblades in points. And on the other side, Anthony Romano was great against Savannah this season, had 6 goals in 9 games against them this year.
Speaking of Anthony Romano, our Camille Frick got to talk to him about the playoffs and his mindset going into it. Let's take a look.
Hey Blades fans, Camille Frick post-game with Anthony Romano. Anthony, 2 goals for you tonight. What was working so well for you in your line?
Honestly, I thought we just stuck to the game plan. We didn't have a really good first period, but I thought as the game went on, we got better. And we kind of got rewarded there in the second by going hard at the net, and then we made a good entry play on my second goal.
Despite their late goal in the third, how did you maintain your composure to be able to pull out a win?
Yeah, we were shorthanded, so killing off a 6-on-3 is obviously really hard. We weren't able to do that, but the 6-on-4, we made sure we got that done and closed out the game well. So we blocked a lot of shots there at the end and got some key clears, so that was important.
It's the end of the regular season now. How does your focus shift after tonight?
Just right back at it. Like the fun starts now. Regular season doesn't mean anything. It all starts Friday night, and hopefully we get some preparation done this week and get ready for Savannah.
Thank you, Anthony.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Camille. So as you said, Savannah, when they're good, they're really good. And in the playoffs, you've got to be really good. You are pulling out all the stops. So what are you expecting specifically from Savannah tonight?
They're going to try and play fast. They're going to try and play loose. I mean, the one thing when you're coming in as the underdog, especially one that finished as far behind Florida in points as they did this season, they've got no pressure on their side, right? It's their first playoff experience. Their fan base is really just happy to be here, and that's not a knock. I mean, it's the first time you make the playoffs. It's very exciting, right? They can use that to their advantage, try and play with some energy, play with some jam. They're looking at these first 2 games at home at Hertz Arena as if they can take a split back to Enmarket Arena, then they have a real chance to maybe steal this series away. They know they're going to be going into quite an environment there next week. And there's a massive difference in the series. If Florida's going up there 2-0 with the lead, obviously they're in a good spot. And even if you're going into a hostile building, all you'd really need is 1 of 3 games up there, and you can handle business back home.
Right.
If you're going up there and it's a tied series, or heaven forbid you're down 0-2 in the series, that's way different for Savannah. They know that they can use that against Florida, try and take the energy away. Whenever you're the road team, you want to try and take one of those first 2 games on the road. And for Savannah to do that, they've got to play fast, they've got to play loose, got to be physical but disciplined. These 2 teams very strong on their penalty kills. We'll get into that a little bit more later on. But you don't want to give the other team too many opportunities on the power play, because we've seen in this series, in the regular season between these 2 clubs, there's not a lot of power play goals, but when they come through, they're often big game changers. So got to make sure you're staying smart out there for Florida against this Savannah team.
Something we talked about on last week's pregame show was the formula that these Blades have gotten into. This will be their 3rd week in a row. Friday, Saturday, couple of days where they're just skating. Friday, Saturday game, couple of days where they're just skating. This will be their 3rd time doing that exact thing. And of course, until they go up to Savannah and play those away for 3 and 4. Hopefully that'll be it. So how does that help? How might that be? Maybe they're on their heels for this. Like, tell us kind of how that contributes, the same formula they've been going through.
Well, the biggest part of it is also that you're at home for those entire 3 weeks. You're in your own bed, your own building, right? It's big for your mental state, right? It's a nice reset. Guys get to spend time at home with family. That's always something that's very tough to come by in the playoffs, so getting a good bit of it before the postseason is very nice.
For sure.
And then it allowed them to really hone in and practice on the things you want to be ready for this Ghost Pirates team, especially once Florida found out in the games against South Carolina that it was going to be Savannah. We knew it was going to be them. You had a lot of time to prep with video and really hone in on, okay, now we know who we're playing. These are the things they do well. These are the things we've got to do to counteract that. So Florida has been able to game plan pretty well coming into this series tonight. I'm expecting that this is going to be a fun game. It's not going to be easy for Florida. It's the playoffs. The regular season games against this team were chippy enough, so there's going to be some of that at play as well.
For sure.
But either way, we're in for some fun hockey tonight, and the guys over these last couple weeks, they've just been waiting for these ones to get going.
Yes, it's not a want for Florida. It's a need to win with this team culture. So give us the direct effect marketing 3 keys of the game. What is it going to take tonight?
Well, the Everblades have got to play as a unit, right? Individual efforts, they'll sometimes come through in the regular season. It's not going to come through enough in the playoffs to win you a game, and more importantly, a series. So Florida, their guys have to be playing as a 5-man group, playing with support in all 3 zones, knowing their roles, knowing how to help their teammates when there's breakdowns, little miscues, things like that. Making sure you're playing as a team, so important for this series. Second off, the power plays, as we talked about. These are 2 of the top 3 penalty kills in the ECHL going at each other. They don't give up goals all that often, and both teams know how to score shorthanded markers. So when you do get your power play opportunities, you've got to find a way to go through. You've got to find a way, maybe not every game, but one game. Could be tonight, right? It's a tight 1-1 game late in the 3rd period. You get that power play, you need to score on it, because you don't know if you're going to get another opportunity later on to win the game. And then finally, we got home ice. We've got our crowd tonight. Use that. You're not going to have it in the middle of the series. You've got it right now to start things off. Get off on the right foot. You've been at home for a few weeks. You should be ready to go right away and use the energy from the crowd to get your motors running and go away with a Game 1 win.
Yes, a home crowd has been huge for us last Friday, Saturday, the Friday, Saturday before that, and now this Friday and Saturday will be huge. We're so glad that you are here with us. Jake, it's time.
It's time at long last.
At long last. Warm-ups are up next, and then it's the Savannah Ghost Pirates versus your Florida Everblades for Game 1, Round 1. We'll see you there.